So mega love shout out to you everyone again and again. We all have our problems in society, but at the same time, do you guys know what does society means? Society has too much free will without logical thinking. For example, in YouTube itself, doing YouTube for like 2 years now, I feel everyone has such a voice that I feel like there's just no logic. Sometimes people just talk just so to talk. Or sometimes you get to see big channels, they would tell their opinions on something. And it's so hard for me to take some of them seriously because you don't know if they're going for the right of the trend or they're telling that because they believe in it. And sometimes whatever they believe in is really bad. It's not good. Sometimes you'll see, like even me, like I do commentary, I do react. But I feel like a lot of people, just because right now you can basically say anything. And I'm from Asia, you know, like I'm Asian. So basically, we kind of grew up in an era where I couldn't really freely tell what I think. Like I have to constantly think about people around me. And in Japan, we have a culture where you are basically like, we have a culture that we don't want to bother people. So that means we're not going to tell anything wrong, even though we feel like it. Cancel culture, another one. Definitely. YouTube is a platform that there's rules. It is what it is. Even as much as I want to like talk like topics that I really feel passionate about, there are certain things you can talk because people in cancel culture, they will dig something from way back. I feel like, you know, that's another reason that I take a huge responsibility being such a commentary channel at the same time, like talking to you guys. I cannot really just say anything, everything. Every year you learn something. Every year you've changed. You know, you as a young person is probably all of us are stupid when we're young. TikTok. Don't get me started. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Guys, I know, even if you're not a YouTuber, you probably know that, you know, like having social media is a type of marketing yourself. And I tried TikTok, you guys. I did really try. But the thing is, I know there's good creators on TikTok, but we all know that the people that are actually like really high on TikTok aren't that. There are good content creators on TikTok that I've seen, but because it doesn't sell. Jesus Christ. So, I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, guys, but I can't do it. It's like, I feel like if I'm on TikTok, I feel every brain cells in my brain just dies. And I'm pretty sure some of you are using it in a good, some of you are using it and following good content creator. I mean, I'm not going to be hypocritical here and I'm not going to tell you I'm not watching reality TV show. I do watch reality TV show. So it's kind of like, you know, I guess all of us are have our kind of like guilty pleasures. But if you have kids, guys, don't let them on TikTok. TikTok is where they go when they can put out real content. And that's the reason, guys, sometimes I feel like there's this whole thing on YouTube world, you know, creators, they're kind of concerned that about shorts back in the day because a lot of TikTok creators that are doing that will explode in YouTube. But I think people that actually watch on YouTube are still a little bit, you know, not as, I don't know, you think, I don't know. It's your opinion, guys. It's your opinion. And it's really mind-boggling to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. You know, the girls that are actually getting a lot of followers, is that how you call it, followers? God bless their heart, can't do it, but good for them. But the thing is, Jesus Christ. And that's the reason why a lot of people have very short-term memory. Ganon. And society has a lot of respect for each other. Definitely. That's the thing. I don't know about other countries, but in Japan, it's so hard. You know, it's really hard because it's like we do have ranking system in Japan. If you are working longer time in a company, you're going to be our senpai, which means you're in the top of, you know, and we have to pay respect. It's kind of like mandatory. In other countries, I believe it doesn't exist like that, which can be a good and bad thing. But I think, you know, whatever it is, I just really feel like a lot of people nowadays are just really not about a balance anymore. It's all about trending. There are just really people out there that are just exaggerated. everything right now seems to be exaggerated. You have something that is good, can be used in good, but there's always going to be bad people out there. There's going to be, people that would ruin it. Just too many people are on their phones in public. A lot of them don't even talk. Oh my God, don't get me started on this. Definitely. If society is wrong, why are we reproducing? That's the real question, is it? Into this terrible society. Your kids didn't consent into this suffering life. I think that's what more of the question comes down to parenting. I don't know about other countries, but I feel like in the Philippines, we are taught that your first kind of society is your family. So I feel like as a parent, you really have a huge responsibility. That's why being a parent is probably the most hard job ever that you'll probably have to do if you want to have kids. If you want to have kids, make kids that are actually is good for this society. Don't create kids that are dumb. That's what I mean. But the thing is, we actually know that, the more dumb you are, the more you reproduce. There's a saying like that. Don't quote me on that because that's not my quote. But there's a super popular saying like that. And I am sure no one would reproduce. Reproduction is a selfish act. Why reproduce when you can adopt? Giving life is such a huge responsibility that I feel like, blaming about reproducing kids and stuff like that is so easy, and blaming sex because it's really good. And that's why there's always options. I feel like we all have our own wisdom that we can share to each other. It doesn't really matter that whether this experience for you is something that is bad or good, because we kind of like different paths. And sometimes your experience might not be as a big deal with someone else, but like talking about it, you can actually share something that a lot of people might not even know exists. Would not a man rather have so much sympathy with the coming generation as to spare if the burden of existence, or at any rate not take it upon himself to impose that burden upon it in cold? Oh my God, again. I think I already used all of my English meaningful. If your opinion is not, like personally you don't want to have kids, of course you can do that. That's not the point. My point is, I feel like we all have our own preference. And the thing is, if you want to adopt or something like that, you just have to implement and kind of like raise kids, new kids that are actually going to be good in our society. But if you're gonna have that mental thought that it's already like, it feels like you're already giving up on humanity, then yeah, I mean, sometimes I do feel like like I'm so done with humans, especially when you see all of these like stupidity all over. No more critical thinking, no more logical thinking. Just because it's good for you, it doesn't mean it's good for everyone, And that's what ICEE Fit is here for, guys. Telling your stories, giving you voice if you don't have it. But once we open our mouth with our opinions, with our thoughts, what we want, what our perspective are, always remember that we come from different backgrounds. We come from different struggles. We come from different, life stories. At the same time, when you open your mouth, you flow all the words. Try to say easy, guys. Sometimes when it's too deep, guys, I feel like it's so hard because I feel like you're gonna cry on me. So don't cry on me, guys, okay? As I'm saying, guys, always remember that once you open your mouth and flow your opinions and perspective, that reaction will come next. And those reactions from people that you are talking to, they would have reaction that could not be you wanted. We can agree to disagree. Every conversation, discussion is up for discussion. In our community, we just really have to share awareness. There's a lot of toxic society out there. So try to stay away from those. It's so easy to be hooked into it. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but for me, as long as I'm not like affecting my livelihood or people that I care about, try to stay away from things that I cannot control, from things that are actually gonna make my life miserable because I have to think about it. So if I were you guys, if you think, it pisses you off or you think that it is not for you, try to change it. Get away from it. Run away as far.